to View, Perspective Grid, 1-point perspective, normal view. Then number 2 is to select Window Layers. If there's already a check, then you don't have to press it. So I'm going to go up to Window, Layers. There's already a check, so I'm going to leave it like that. I should be able to see it up here. So here's my layer, layer 1. Okay. And now I'm going to add 4 new layers. Left, right, bottom, left, bottom, right. So I'm in my layers. I'm going to move this box down a little bit. And all the way at the bottom of the window is where you have Create New Layer. So you're going to click on Create New Layer, and you're going to need left, right, bottom left, bottom right. So rename them those titles by double clicking on it and then just typing in left, right, bottom left, and bottom right. These are the sides of your shapes, and I'll explain as we get to the next few steps. So now you're going to draw at least 5 rectangles on the left side, making sure that you're in the left layer. Okay, so I'm on the left side over here. I'm clicking on the left layer, and now I'm going to draw 5 rectangles on the left side. I'm zooming in here. You can just press the window key and plus on your keyboard, and then making sure that in the little widget I'm on the left side, so the blue highlight there tells me I'm on the left side of the grid. Then I'm going to click on the rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw 5 rectangles. So again, they should all be on the grid, but you can go past the grid as long as it's going back to the vanishing point, which what's really cool about the digital version of this project, it is in perspective. So as long as you're using this grid, all the shapes you draw will be in perspective. So try to make yours a little unique. You don't have to follow mine exactly. You can make long, short, thin, thick, different size shapes here, different rectangles. There is an option to do other shapes too, but until you get all the steps, just follow along with these ones. So I have 5 rectangles, okay? Now number 5 is make each rectangle a different shade by selecting colors in the color box and then select no stroke. So for each rectangle, I want you to choose a different color. So click on a rectangle, and to do that you need to select them. So go to the selection tool up here. This black arrow is the selection tool. Click on one of your rectangles. So I'll start with the first one. Then I'm going to click on the color box and choose a color. Say OK, and there we go. And then I want you to make sure that there's no stroke. So the stroke is this box here, and this is the fill. So I'm going to click on none. Okay? All right, so keep doing that for all your shapes. Select the next box, and if you can't get to it because you're here, if you click on it, you'll see it'll change. So again, no stroke. I'm going to click on the color box, and I'm going to maybe stick with the reddish color scheme. You can move the colors. You can have a dark red and a light red. So you can go that way. You can also go warm and cool colors or just any colors. Think of a unique color scheme for yourself. I'm going to try warm colors for this one. So I got the yellow and orange. Again, we're trying to make this personal, so think of your favorite colors as you do this. Oh, and make sure that you have no stroke. For each one, they should not have a black outline. That's what stroke means. It's basically the outline. So, no stroke. Click on the color box, pick your color. And yellow-green here, if you see how it goes from orange to yellow green, Yellow green is actually considered a warm color, so you can go somewhere in the greens and choose that as a warm color. Maybe I'll go back down to red and do a darker red. All right, so I got, oh, and this one has a fill, so I need to make sure there's no fill. All right, so that was number 5. Then you're going to select the perspective grid tool again, drag the grid to the right side. So go back to this tool. Now you should see the perspective grid selection points on the ends there, and you're just going to drag it to the other side of the grid. And guess what we're going to do over here? Complete steps 5 and 6 on the right. So same thing. So now we want to make sure that we're in the right layer. So click on the right layer, then go back to number 5, which says make each rectangle, oh, number 4 actually, draw at least 5 rectangles. Okay, so you're going to draw the rectangles and then fill in the colors. So I'm going to click on the rectangle. Now my color is red, so it's going to make all my rectangles red. It doesn't really matter, just change them after if you want. And they don't have to look the same. You can do something totally different on this side than you did on the other side, or you can do it the same. It's up to you. Okay, so I'm going to maybe just make these a little different, interesting. I didn't make too many that went really far back or overlapping, so I'm going to try some like that because you'll see what happens when we overlap them. We're starting with 5, but if you remember you need 15, so 5 and 5 is 10, you're going to need to add 5 more. There's not too much space, so at some point you are going to need to overlap it, so you'll see what happens as we do this. So then number 5 is make each rectangle a different shade by clicking on the color box and selecting the color and no fill. So again, you're going to select it with the selection tool at the top here. Click on a rectangle. It's already no fill. I'm going to change up my colors. If you like the exact same colors from this side, you can take the eyedropper tool over here and click on the shape that you want. So I guess I was pretty close to this one. I'll try it again with a different one. So take the eyedropper tool, click on the color you want, and then you'll get that shape in that color. So continue selecting them. Use the eyedropper tool if you want the same colors. If you don't, you can do any. I'd actually keep that the dark one. And think about as they overlap, you don't really want your shapes to be the same colors. You might want to choose different colors so that they stand out from each other. This last one on the bottom, I'll do that green. I'm using the eyedropper tool to get those colors, but again, you don't have to. They can be different colors. Okay,